Okay, so we've got them all on there. I've left them kind of loose because we kind of want to set them first. So the initial set for the fingers is basically you want the index finger to be slightly out. So you'll see that these kind of rotate around this slot. So you want to bring them just a little bit that way of center so that index finger is kind of splayed out a little bit. And that's where we'll just kind of snug them down for now. Again, these are all going to be things that can be adjusted on as you go, depending on the hand. And what we're looking for with these adjustments is basically when we bring all the fingers into the palm, we don't want them to crash into each other in the center. So these rotating joints that let you rotate the finger and these sliding joints that let you slide the finger basically let you position them all so that you get the closure you want. Now on the middle and the ring finger, I tend to just start with them straight up and down, so basically centered in those slotted holes, and work from there. So we're going through and snugging down these screws. Again, center up the the ring, and then the pinky I'll kind of splay out a hair just to give it the fingers some room between each other. A little tight still. Okay, so bring them all down. Take a look at what we have. So here's where you can kind of rotate the fingers a little. So I'm going to rotate my pinky out just a hair so it gives it a little bit of clearance, so I can rotate out my ring finger. I'm going to rotate the ring finger a little bit. Just a little bit. And this, you can kind of set those loose. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm just trying to get good spacing. I got that a little loose. Good spacing between the fingers. So this space here between each finger, trying to get that kind of equal. Got that one a little too loose. There we go. So it doesn't require a lot of adjustment because the fingers are the plates the fingers are mounted on are slightly angled, so they tend to lay themselves where they want to be. That one's over a little too much. Okay, so you can see there, spaced fairly evenly. When you open them up, they all lay splayed out nicely here. And again, totally up to you on your adjustment. You basically just make sure that when your fingers close, they don't crash into each other. The one thing that'll kill your servos quicker than anything else is having them bind. Two fingers binding on each other, and the servo's trying to move the finger, but it can't go anywhere. So you're just heating up the motor inside the servo, and eventually the servos will give out. So there we go. There's 4 fingers. They move nicely. They're tightened up. The thumb moves. And then you've got your rotation. So this, again, you'll tighten this screw here as you get the thumb in place. For now, I'm going to actually tighten that one down where it's at, because I like the hand in a more open position versus a closed. You know, that's mainly there, so if you're trying to make the hand look like it's holding something, you can position the thumb accordingly. So I'm actually going to tighten that down a little more so it doesn't float around on me. Okay, looking good. Alright, so now what we're going to do, something that I have to say, I noticed this earlier, was when we assembled this thumb, I assembled it backwards. I apologize for that. This horn is supposed to be facing to the inside of the hand, not to the outside of the hand. So I'm going to start by adjusting that servo horn first. And basically all I need to do is take the screw out, pop the horn off, and just flip it 180 degrees around to that side and put it back on. So again, center your horn on the motion so that the finger will come back and lock. So you want to make sure you can get to the lock spot and the finger's locking, not the servo, and then forward you'll see that the finger comes to a fairly good bend. And you'll do that with all of them. And the horns are pretty easy. Once you get it powered up and connected to your controls, you can adjust those horns, take the screw out and jump them around. But this is just your initial settings. Okay, so we're to that point. So the last thing we need to do here is we need to go ahead and get our 4 more horns and our 4 more balls, sockets here, and put each horn on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Again, speeding up the video so you don't have to watch. Okay, so we've assembled those 4 servo horns. So now what we'll do is we'll put them on. So we'll just start here. Now, the index finger servo horn point towards the thumb. So I'm going to snap it kind of down on there, and again I'm going to move my servo up and down. So trying to figure out where center is. Oops, too far. And again, you want the center of the servo to be about the horn 90 degrees to the body of the servo, or close to it. There we go. So basically it'll stop pointing down and it'll stop pointing up. That's a pretty good starting position. So position your horn there where you like it, and then what I do is I pop the ball back off, snap it on, and then bring this guy back down. Now in order for that to be in the middle position, the fingers should be halfway, approximately halfway bent. So then I'll snap that horn back on in the original position. And that gives me a functioning finger. So 1 down. Once you get it in place, lock it off. And we move on to the rest. Okay, so once you've fixed all your horns in place, again, you should be able to move. It'll bind on the back against the linkage of the servo and then go closed on the front side. So you want to make sure your servos are centered correctly. And once you have all those bolted on, that basically completes the hand. So if this is a hand kit you're building, you're done. You'll have your 4 screw holes on the base that you can use for mounting the hand wherever you want. If you are doing an arm kit, the next video will detail the wrist pivot and the rest of the arm as we move on. Now I have a few extra parts over here. These 2 pieces are the pivot point for the wrist. So if you're doing an arm kit, you have those, and then you have your leftover jig. Now I have 3 extra 440 nuts. I'm not sure why I have those, so if you have 3 extras, that means I packed too many in one of the bags. Great. If you don't have 3 extras, don't worry about it, as long as you have all the screws necessary to accomplish a hand. So that's it. Hands assembled. We'll after I get all the assembly videos done, I'll do some videos on programming and and control like that. But for now, we're just about getting it assembled. So until next time, bye.